Oops. And there it is. It's looking at you, Albert. Do we have to like twist this thing or something?
No, you're good.
It knows what you're up to.
We have to- But it's like, okay.
Okay, you're upset when you are sad.
All right, good evening. It's 7:01. I'm going to call this meeting to order. Adequate notice this meeting was given in accordance with the open meeting statute by transmitting the meeting notice to the official newspapers, providing a copy of the agenda to the newspapers, and posting a copy of the agenda at Borough Hall. Would you please rise for the flag salute?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Sam, would you please proceed forward with the roll call?
Councilmember Bernard,
Here.
Councilmember Dockery,
Here.
Council President Lee Tag,
Here.
Councilmember O'Brien,
Here.
Councilmember Updike,
Here.
Councilmember Warner.
Here.
All right. Before we get into our first public comment portion of the meeting tonight, just want to let everyone know the first public comment portion of the meeting is limited to 5 minutes. Any comments in excess of 5 can be done at the second public comment portion of our meeting, which is at the end. Before we get into that, I just wanted to note that we certainly send our regards and well wishes regarding the recent accident that occurred in the borough. My understanding is that everyone is doing okay, which is good. I know there's been a lot of Facebook activity around that. I wanted to just kind of reiterate of where we're at as a municipality. Over the past year in 2024, we were successful in working on implementing a number of traffic safety signals on county roadways coming into the borough. We did that at the municipal expense. In addition to that, as we are moving forward with infrastructure projects in the borough, we have a commitment to something known as complete streets. So we go through a process when we do these, basically these larger grant projects of making sure that we're thinking things through, such as curbing, sidewalks, signage, and any type of other traffic markings we can put in place. When we did the Hilltop Streets project, if you go up there, you'll notice that we incorporated speed limit markings on the roadway itself now. That's something we've been doing across the borough as we do projects. We also had some success with the downtown with that most recent project with the enhanced crosswalks, as well as moving forward with the Ward Street project. A lot of times we use these larger grant projects to do bigger projects because the mobilization costs to get a contractor in here as a small municipality often substantial. So if we can piggyback off the larger projects, it enables us to do more work. So at the last council meeting, the Borough Council expressed their interest and desire to take a look at using that Ward Street project as a means to do some enhancements to crosswalks along Kingwood Avenue. We've received a preliminary yes from Hunterdon County that they would consent to the borough making changes to those sidewalks near Kathy's and Napoli's Pizzeria. It would be at the borough's expense, but they would allow the borough to do some similar treatment that we're doing in the downtown with that brick paver lacrosse walk with the white reflective markings. So we are going to look at that as part of that larger project. And I also asked our public safety director, Mark Gantner, to take a look at our statistics on vehicle volume in the borough, which is very high over the last several years, as well as overall statistics, accidents regarding bicyclists, pedestrians, as well as motorists. So maybe before we move into public comments, Director Gantner, do you want to share with the council and the public what your research found in terms of this overall statistics?
Sure. Real brief. I'm going to provide you with some of the statistics that were derived from both the New Jersey Crash Portal and the QED, which is our records management system. So the QED system started in 2013. We don't really have records that go prior to that. Yeah. A really deep dive, which I'm not playing since we're talking from 2013 until today. And what we saw was specifically, we were drilling down on the Kingwood Avenue and Ray Street intersection between the time period of July 13, 2013 to February 1st, 2025. So the data evaluating the crash analysis, again, it's derived from the New Jersey Crash Portal and the QED records management platforms. There were 10 reported crashes at this location during the given time period. 2 of the crash investigations were classified as pedestrian crashes. So out of the 10 in total, 2 involved pedestrians. On July 19, 2013, the first pedestrian crash investigated determined that the pedestrian to be at fault for crossing where prohibited and being inattentive. That crash investigation, again, is a matter of public record, and we can certainly, furnish that for further review. The unfortunate pedestrian crash that just occurred this past week was January 30th. That pedestrian crash investigation determined failure to yield right of way as contributing factors for both the pedestrian and the involved vehicle. This was based on the shared responsibility principle from the New Jersey Division of Highway Traffic Safety and a lack of definitive evidence to hold either party more responsible than the other. That crash investigation, again, is a matter of public record and could be shared certainly with everyone. Based on several recent Hunter County Office of the Engineer traffic studies, the average volume for vehicular traffic on Frenchtown Road is 2,200 vehicles per day, while Kingwood Avenue is estimated at 5,500 vehicles per day. So that said, these numbers would estimate over this analysis period, the roughly 11 and a half years, that we would estimate over 31 million vehicles have traveled through the intersection during that time period. Now, it should be noted that this data does not consider volume down Ray Street North, which would basically not consider traffic from Bridge Street and Trenton Avenue coming from the south up into the north. We just don't have enough data to make any, reasonable derive any conclusions about what type of volume we're looking at, from the south. So those numbers are virtually higher than the 31 million that we're talking about. So as far as recommendations go, and again, I'm not an engineer. I bring this from a law enforcement perspective, and that's where I come from. We look at education and training. It's being highlighted by the New Jersey Traffic and Highway Safety group, and the website points out that New Jersey experiences a disproportionate number of pedestrian crashes and fatalities compared to the nation as a whole. Just recognize there is a problem here in New Jersey. So that's the problem. The Division of Highway Traffic Safety assists local and county agencies in the development of comprehensive pedestrian safety programs involving education, enforcement, and engineering. The website further states that the most important message is pedestrian safety is a shared responsibility. There is no one cause of crashes involving pedestrians. Pedestrians and motorists must both do their part to keep pedestrians safe. So some of the suggested education efforts may include the Frenchtown Police Department doing a reintroduction of the Street Smart pedestrian safety program. We do that in conjunction with Go Hunterdon. We did a pretty vigorous campaign in 2021 where we kind of roll out the educational component first, and then we do an enforcement study thereafter. Both looking to educate the pedestrian and the motorist as far as the laws that govern crosswalk laws. In addition to that, there's a number of different things that we could put out there. There's a pedestrian safety palm cards that can be distributed, street smart posters that we had put up all throughout the borough during that campaign. So we'll be looking at doing that again. And then there's also a posting of a pedestrian safety crosswalk law video, which comes from the Attorney General's office, which highlights some of the things that I'm talking about here. One of the things that we do in addition to that Safe Streets campaign is we do what we call selective traffic assignments. When we do receive complaints or if the officers observe any activity that we would like to address, and if that means pedestrian crossings, we'll do targeted enforcement in those areas. So we have done a number of them out here at this three-way intersection. We've done them over at Kathy's General Store. We also did a pretty intensive campaign on Harrison Street around the school, I think in 2023. So these are all things that we're going to look at, and certainly do our best to try to minimize these types of incidents for sure. From an engineering perspective, studies should be performed to evaluate enhancements or elimination of crosswalks in that intersection. Research of pedestrian safety measures should include implementation of LED flashing stop signs, crosswalk tables, rapid rectangular flashing beacons. That's the beacons that the pedestrians can activate when they're at a crosswalk to alert motorists that there's somebody in the crosswalk. And then, of course, you look at fully operational traffic light in that freeway intersection, if that's deemed feasible and reasonable by engineering standards. That's all I have for now.
Thank you, Director. Appreciate that update and that information. Obviously, we have a tremendous amount of volume of traffic that comes through the borough. So one of the things on tonight's agenda is a authorization of the Safe Streets Advisory Council. And that consists of Go Hunterdon, the school, 3 members appointed by the mayor, our liaison to the Department of Public Works, Public Safety Director, and Council President. And I think that's a good working group. We kind of worked together last year on some of the enhancements that happened in the borough. And in addition to that, one of the things I'm going to ask that committee to take a look at very seriously is, much like a shore town that deals with a lot of traffic, obviously our downtown business district generates a lot of traffic, as is the fact it's a connecting point in Frenchtown to many major roads. I think we have to look at alternative forms of revenue to fund transportation infrastructure upgrades, as well as maintain ongoing policing and enforcement. So I think we very strongly should look at parking meters in Frenchtown Borough as a means to generate alternative revenue to support safety enhancements in the downtown, as well as maintain our existing parking lots and things of that nature. I think just simply raising property taxes on property taxpayers is not a great solution. I think most of our property taxpayers are pretty well burdened as it is. So much like shore towns look for alternative forms of revenue, I think the borough should do the same. So that's just what I want to say about that before we moved into the general public comments, unless council has any questions for Director Gantner or wants to add anything else.
Just question, the notes you were reading from, is that something that is that part going to be part of our minutes, or?
It was a memorandum that I had issued to.
Okay. Great, thank you.
And yeah, girls.
Yeah, we'll share
We
with
can
them.
share it
Yep.
with the council.
Okay, great, thank you.
Any other questions? All right, with that, we'll start at public comments. If you could just state your name for the record. Any public comments this evening? Go ahead, please.
I'm the only one, I'm not a Frenchtown resident, so I don't.
Oh, no, please go ahead.
Okay. San Diego, now, I have lived in Hunterdon County for 50 years, but in Samuel Township, and I was on the township committee there for 8 years, long time ago. But my comments today, and I put it into one page, so hopefully I'll be in 5 minutes, have to do with a dog, an animal control officer, and the police. And maybe you've already discussed this even before. I'm sorry if so I'll be quick. But most of my information has come from an animal incident report by a company called Advanced Animal Control, which I believe has replaced your animal control officer. And we share your former animal control officer, Carolyn Murphy, which is also on the city CMO. So starting on April 11th of 2024, there was a traffic stop in Alexandria Township by the Frenchtown police. They found a small bulldog puppy in a small crate in the back of the car, with lots of garbage and filth strewn around the crate. The puppy's ears had been cut off with what appeared to be scissors or a sharp knife. And I don't know where that information came from, but it's in several of the reports. The driver was transporting the puppy, but he did not know the puppy's name or the puppy's owner's last name. Frenchtown police handed the dog over to the animal control officer, who in turn took it for a vet check and turned it over to Pura Vida, which is an animal rescue 501c3 in East Samuel Township. I have pages and pages and pages of notes, but the follow-up investigation revealed many conflicting claims about the puppy's age, status as a show dog, claiming it was worth $3,500. And I am a dog person. I mean, how a dog with its ears chopped off could be a show dog, it boggles my imagination. And none of the documentation required by NJSA 429/2915.16. And for some reason, the Frenchtown police, and again, we never had police in East Samuel. We've always had the state troopers, so it's a whole different bailiwick for me. I don't know how you guys interact with them. But the Frenchtown police demanded the animal control officer return the puppy to their custody from the Pura Vida shelter. And when she refused, they filled out a complaint, a summons, for 2 second-degree crimes, resulting in 5 to 10 years imprisonment and a fine not to exceed $150,000. I know I'm missing something here. I'll just read one of the complaints and then I'm done. Within the jurisdiction, I went to the prosecutor's office, county prosecutor's office about this. Within the jurisdiction of this court, engaged in, official misconduct as a public servant by committing an act related to his office, but constituting an unauthorized exercise of his official functions with a purpose to obtain a benefit for himself or herself, deprive another person of a benefit, knowing that such act was unauthorized or committed in an authorized manner, specifically by taking and keeping the victim's dog, after identifying him as the owner in violation of NJ and another citation, a second degree crime. So I don't know whether you have been hearing about this for a long time, or if I'm the first person to raise it, or if there's anything anybody would like to say about it. I think that I went to the arraignment, which was last week in Hunterdon County Court, and March 24th is the next event, but I don't quite understand what's gonna happen, but that's when she's back with her lawyer, which I guess she's paying lots of money to, so. I don't know if you guys comment on things like this, I'd be interested if you have any insight from it.
No, my own recommendation to the council would be is not to comment on this. This is a matter that is pending before the criminal courts. And it would be simply not appropriate for you to make a comment. And you are, of course, welcome to go to all the hearings in Hunterdon County. But I don't think it's appropriate for the council to
I
comment.
understand that, I'm not surprised. But I thought of it. Okay.
Thank you for
Thank you
your
for your
comments. Additional public comments this evening. Okay, go ahead, Chris.
Lauren Shepherd, I just, was wondering if there's an update on the Frenchtown Community Garden and the trapping of animals. If you had a meeting, I think you were supposed to.
Yeah, I spoke with the Frenchtown Lions Club and they've directed me to meet with John Misen about this. So we're gonna set up a meeting.
Okay, good. I just
Yep.
wanted to check.
Yep.
What, what was coming. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. Any additional public comments? Okay, not hearing any, we'll move on to our consent agenda. All matters listed on the consent agenda are considered to be routine by the governing body and will be enacted by one motion, the form listed below. There will be no separate discussion of these items if discussion is desired. That item will be removed from the consent agenda and will be considered separately. The consent agenda consists of the presentation of vouchers. Does anyone need anything moved? Okay, with that, is there a motion for adoption?
So moved.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. With that, roll call, please.
Councilmember Bernhardt?
Yes.
Councilmember Dougherty?
Yes.
Council President Lee Tag?
Yes.
Councilmember O'Brien?
Yes.
Councilmember Updike?
Yes.
Councilmember Warner?
Yes.
Moving on to approval of the minutes, we'll do these one by one. First is approval of the regular meeting minutes and executive session meeting minutes of December 26, 2024. Is there a motion for adoption of those minutes?
So move, John.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Was Council President Lee Tag with a second? Any changes or edits to those minutes? Not hear any, roll call, please.
Councilmember Bernhardt?
Abstain.
Councilmember Dougherty?
Yes.
Council President Lee Tag?
Yes.
Councilmember O'Brien?
Abstain.
Councilmember Updike?
Yes.
Councilmember Warner?
Abstain.
Moving on to approval of the regular meeting and executive session meeting minutes of January 2nd, 2025. Is there a motion for adoption?
So moved.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Give that to Councilman Warner. Any edits or adjustments to the minutes? Not hearing any, roll call, please.
Councilmember Bernhardt?
Yes.
Councilmember Dougherty?
Yes.
Council President Lee Tag?
Yes.
Councilmember O'Brien?
Yes.
Councilmember Updike?
Abstain.
Councilmember Warner?
Yes.
Hey, Sam, change my vote to abstain, please. I should have abstained on that, sorry.
That's okay. Thank you.
And finally, approval of the regular meeting minutes of January 13th, 2025. Is there a motion for adoption? So moved. Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
And any edits or comments on this? Not hearing a roll call, please.
Councilmember Bernhardt?
Yes.
Councilmember Dougherty?
Abstain.
Council President Lee Tag?
Yes.
Councilmember O'Brien?
Yes.
Councilmember Updike?
Yes.
Councilmember Warner?
Abstain.
Moving on to our resolutions. The first resolution is hiring of a temporary library assistant. That's resolution 2025-37. This is more of a resolution catching up of the business. Is there a motion for adoption?
So moved.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay. Roll call, please.
Yes.
Councilmember Doherty,
Yes.
Council President Lee Tag.
Yes.
Councilmember O'Brien,
Yes.
Councilmember Updike,
Yes.
Councilmember Warner.
Yes.
Resolution 2025-38 is a contract award to Colliers Engineering Design. This was for our affordable housing work. Is there a motion for adoption? So moved. Thank you. Is there a second?
Second, John.
Any questions or comments on this?
I just wanted to comment that I'm glad to see this on the agenda tonight. I reviewed this, I gave some comments to Darlene, and this is important because it sets us up to deal with the whole series of activities that you know, are in front of us now as in dealing with the affordable housing. So I'm glad it's on the agenda tonight.
And thanks for your work on that as well, and the time you put in.
You're welcome.
Roll call, please.
Councilmember Bernhardt,
Yes.
Councilmember Doherty.
Yes.
Council President Lee Tag.
Yes.
Councilmember O'Brien,
Yes.
Councilmember Updike.
Yes.
Councilmember Warner.
Yes.
Resolution 2025-39 is authorizing change order number 1 for the Frenchtown Public Library Entrance Accessibility Improvement Project. Is there a motion for adoption?
So moved.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Any questions or comments on that? Just happy to report the library is reopened.
Here.
With that, roll call, please.
Councilmember Bernhardt,
Yes.
Councilmember Doherty.
Yes.
Council President Lee Tag.
Yes.
Councilmember O'Brien,
Yes.
Councilmember Updike.
Yes.
Councilmember Warner.
Yes.
Resolution 2025-40 is the final payment to Top Line Contracting Corp. For the Bridge Street Improvement Project. So this is the last payment certified by the engineer that they've completed all work and it's passed inspection.
So moved.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. Is there any questions or comments on this?
Question I have is, in previous meetings recently, there's been a number of residents from the area affected. Am I, or is this the
That
same
was to the
project or a
Hilltop
different
Streets.
project?
This is the
It's a
downtown
different
race and
project.
Bridge Street paving and the crosswalks.
That was completed
Yep.
over the summer.
Yep.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
The hilltop isn't projected until March to be
Finished.
Yeah.
finished, yeah.
Great. Thank you for clarifying that.
You're welcome. Any other questions or comments on it? Not hearing any, roll call, please.
Councilmember Bernhardt,
Yes.
Councilmember Doherty.
Yes.
Council President Lee Tag.
Yes.
Councilmember O'Brien,
Yes.
Councilmember Updike.
Yes.
Councilmember Warner.
Yes.
Resolution 2025-41 is the final payment to DeSapio Construction for Frenchtown Borough Hall emergency water damage repairs. Is there a motion for adoption?
So moved.
Thank you. Is there a second? Second. Thank you, Bill. Any questions or comments on this? Not hearing any, roll call, please.
Councilmember Bernhardt,
Yes.
Councilmember Doherty.
Yes.
Council President Lee Tag.
Yes.
Councilmember O'Brien,
Yes.
Councilmember Updike.
Yes.
Councilmember Warner.
Yes.
Resolution 2025-42 is a contract award for animal control services for calendar year 2025. Is there a motion for adoption?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. Any comments or questions about this?
I do have one comment. I had a good conversation with Thomas Dodds, who is the principal at Animal Control Solutions, and he is very willing to embrace the pro-animal philosophy of Frenchtown residents. And so we're looking at enhancing some of the participation of the ACO, Animal Control Officer, with reporting and some transparency with what's going on so that we can just improve responses there.
All right, thank you. Any other questions or comments about that? Roll call, please.
Councilmember Bernhardt,
Yes.
Councilmember Doherty.
Yes.
Council President Lee Tag.
Yes.
Councilmember O'Brien.
Yes.
Councilmember Updike.
Yes.
Councilmember Warner.
Yes.
Resolution 2025-43 is supporting the Lower Delaware River Management Plan, endorsing designation of the Nishishakwa Creek and Little Nishishakwa Creek into the Lower Delaware River Wild and Scenic River System. Is there a motion for adoption?
So moved.
Thank you. Is there a second? Thank you. It's Councilman Bernhardt the second, and this came at the request and support of our Environmental Commission. With that, roll call, please.
Councilmember Bernhardt,
Yes.
Councilmember Doherty.
Yes.
Council President Lee Tag.
Yes.
Councilmember O'Brien.
Yes.
Councilmember Updike.
Yes.
Councilmember Warner.
Yes.
And then item H, resolution 2025-44 is temporary budget appropriations as recommended by the CFO.
So moved.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Any questions or comments? Not hearing any, roll call please.
Councilmember Bernhardt?
Yes.
Councilmember Dougherty?
Yes.
Council President Lee Tag?
Yes.
Councilmember O'Brien?
Yes.
Councilmember Updike?
Yes.
Councilmember Warner?
Yes.
And then finally, resolution 2025-45, extending the work of the Traffic and Pedestrian Safety Committee.
So moved.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Any questions or comments on this? Not hear any, roll call please.
Councilmember Bernhardt?
Yes.
Councilmember Dougherty?
Yes.
Council President Lee Tag?
Yes.
Councilmember O'Brien?
Yes.
Councilmember Updike?
Yes.
Councilmember Warner?
Yes.
And under new business, we had approval of the 2025 committee assignments. They should be in your packet, and I don't know if any, I didn't hear from anyone requesting any changes, but if you'd like to discuss those and make any changes. If not, we could adopt those and everyone could start working on those assignments.
Okay.
Good.
So
Is there a motion to adopt them as,
a motion to adopt as presented.
is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. Any questions or comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? The ayes have it. Okay, those will be the assignments then. Very good. All right, moving on to council comments. Councilman Warner,
I have nothing to say.
thank you. Councilman Updike,
No comments, man.
Council President Leaptag.
Wanted to report that I need to work with the FBPA on some Film Ready. Film Ready is a program through the state of New Jersey where we work with the Television and Motion Picture Commission to provide assets to the commission so that they in turn can come and file permits to film within the borough. We passed an ordinance a while back to participate in Film Ready New Jersey, and we've been approached to provide some more detail about what Frenchtown can offer to filmmakers. So whether it's, we have churches in town, we have a bookshop, places, we have a bridge, we have parks, all of the assets that would be desirable by film crews to come in and shoot. And it is talking about alternative forms of revenue. It is a place that we can make some money, not only in the permit, but in these shoots bring tremendous dollars to the businesses in town. I was kind of blown away. The film that's out in theaters, or maybe not so much now, John, remind me what it was called.
The Bob Dylan.
The Bob Dylan film was shot in
Yeah.
Cape May City. And the amount of money the businesses, whether it was providing accommodations or coffee, food to the casts was very high. So it's something the borough has been interested in the past, and so I'm gonna work with the FBPA and your committee, hopefully, to continue the requests that have come in. Also represented the borough at a shared services forum with the county. The county commissioners had the first in a series of 3 forums talking about opportunities that exist between municipalities and counties to share services, whether it is printing services, the services that are provided by the health department, the library. There are a lot of services that were discussed that are provided by the county library system, not to compete with the Frenchtown Library, separate and distinct, that we could better advertise to residents so that they know that these are benefits to taxpayers and residents that live in Hunterdon County. So expect more in terms of a report coming out of those forums. I do want to say that the county did a tremendous job in at least Forum 1, so I am looking forward to the second and third part of it. And I think that is all that I have for now.
Okay. Yeah, the library, I was at the event, it's expansive. There's a lot of things that the county library does that I didn't even know. Like all the digital books that you can download, magazines, newspaper subscriptions, free museum passes,
Language
LinkedIn,
services,
language services that are, you already pay for in your taxes.
ancestry.com.
Yeah, that you can access through shared membership for no additional fee.
And they have a maker space.
Yeah.
To where if you want to take, if you want to take the girls, there's some really cool activities that that you can use through that, whether it's silk screening shirts or mugs or they have presses too.
Yeah, they have a press, they have a kiln, they have a laser
It's
cutter.
pretty,
Yeah.
it's impressive, yeah. So that I found incredibly informative. And I think
Yeah.
we should really lift up some of those services.
Sure. Councilman O'Brien? No comments. Okay. Councilman Bernhardt?
I just wanted to say that the library is open. We have Jackie Campbell, who is a temp working there while Kelly is out on her personal leave. So Jackie is working until February 17th and Kelly will return on February 18th.
And she's quite a hire. She's a recent PhD graduate from Princeton University.
Princeton,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So fortunate to have her for a short period of time. Yeah.
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 That sense.
Councilman Dougherty?
No comments, thank you.
Okay.
Can I have one more comment?
Sure.
I'm sorry. I do want to thank Sam and the staff because I don't know, I had some business. Actually, that's one of the businesses that I should be talking about. I was dropping off, everyone should have received a mailer regarding the change in trash services. So in going up, so the mailer is incredibly important. So we'll just park that over here for now. But in going up into the clerk's office, if you haven't done so in a while, you should go and visit. It's been cleaned up. You walk in and everybody's got smiles greeting you through the door. And I just want to say thank you to Sam through your leadership up there for what is the changes that are coming and clear. And then also going back to the mailer, I'd be remiss to not talk about that. Sanico is our new trash and recycling contractor. They are taking over a contract that expires on February 12th. The last day of pickup for Republic Services is this Friday, tomorrow? No, no,
Put it out
2 days.
tomorrow.
Yeah, you put it out on Friday, you put out recycling as well as trash. So we have a back-to-back recycling pickup to help get it out. Those cans will be picked up by Republic. And then Sanico will be delivering replacement bins to residents on Monday and Tuesday of next week. So there really shouldn't be any hardship in terms of storing trash in your home over the weekend. And then the benefits of this is we have 3 different cart sizes to where if residents desire a smaller cart, those are available, or if there's a need for an additional recycling cart, those are available to residents. So please contact Sam for those options and we will communicate that to Sanico. Thank you.
Thank you.
Sorry.
Sure. I just have one comment. I just wanted to know for the Economic Development Committee that Mark Sala contacted me, the county's Economic Development and Tourism Director. And some time ago, the county was involved in giving a grant to Frenchtown to digitalize our code book online. Because they're trying to do that across all the municipalities to make it more welcoming to residents and businesses alike. But one of the things that the next phase of that, which we had looked at the Eastern Pennsylvania had done, is they took with the company their code book, and you could take, if you're a prospective business, hover over a property and it would let you know what zone they were in, what the allowance was for that building business, potential business, whether you're a tech company, a bakery, etc. So Mark Salick would like to do that with a couple municipalities. as a next step, and he mentioned to me about Frenchtown, so if I told him we would probably have a committee after tonight, and he'd like to work directly with the committee and try and get a group of towns together to pilot this as a means to attract new businesses to Hunterdon County and make it easier for folks to, say, this is what I do, this is a good space and it works for me, versus going too far down the road and then not knowing what you're getting into, et cetera.
I think that's great.
So that's the only thing I had. Any correspondence that anyone wants to address this evening? Okay. It's our next public comment portion of the meeting, so if anyone wants to address the council, please just state your name for the record. Any additional public comments from the audience? Please go ahead.
Hi, Maureen Taylor. Good evening.
Good evening.
I just had a quick question, leading up to the construction beginning, on the bridge. I was just wondering if, I know you had mentioned that the, construction company was gonna be renting the front, potentially renting the front of Sunbeam Park just to store some equipment. I was just, wondering if I could follow up on that, because I'm starting to plan events and things like that.
So initially they had spoke about that. I did speak with a representative from the Bridge Commission because I had asked about that with the pending work. And my understanding is they've reached an agreement with Schneiderman Farm and they're going to house everything at Schneiderman Farm. There might come a time where some equipment might be moved over temporarily, but the overall staging zone will be at the farm.
That's great news.
Yep.
I'm glad that worked out.
Yeah,
You're
actually,
like,
I think it's best
Like-
for all sides involved, I think.
Yeah, see, that's good. I hope it worked out well for Schneiderwin's too, because they do have a lot of land over there.
Yeah,
The close proximity definitely helps everybody. And then I'm gonna also have the FVPA event dates ready for hopefully your March meeting. So I'll have all the dates and hopefully all the park, approval things ready for you so that we can kind of roll out with the 2025 yearly events. For
once you have those two, if you give those to Mark Salick, he'll feature them on the Explore Hunterdon
Okay.
branding
Okay,
campaign.
great.
Yeah, so they'll
Yeah,
put
I
those
try to
on.
keep them in the loop on everything.
Yep,
Yeah, he's good about that. But yeah, no, thank you for that. That's my only question.
thank you. All right. Any additional public comments? Please go ahead.
Hi, Robert McEwen, the Lower Delaware Water City. Thank you very much for approving the resolution.
Oh, you're welcome.
We appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Oh.
Thank you. Additional comments? Okay, with that, we do have an executive session tonight. We have two matters to discuss, two personnel matters. So that the public will be excluded from that. There'll be no action taking at the end of the executive session, in case you're wondering about coming back. So I gotta just read this resolution to the record. Where Section 8 of the Open Public Meetings Act permits the exclusion of the public from a meeting in certain circumstances. And whereas the Borough Council is of the opinion that such circumstances exist. Now therefore be resolved by the Borough Council of the Borough of Frenchtown, the County of Hunterdon, State of New Jersey as follows. The public shall be excluded from discussion of the hereafter specified subject matters. The general nature of the subject matter to be discussed is as follows: personnel. The Borough Council will not be taking official action on the items discussed in the executive session upon completion of the executive session. The minutes of discussion shall be made available to the public as soon as the matters under discussion are no longer of a confidential or sensitive nature. And this resolution shall take effect immediately. Is there a motion to go into executive session? Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstentions? With that, Sam, we gotta turn this thing off.
That's so against
I
it.
don't like it.
Video, come on now.
Just leave it off.
Well done tonight, Sam.
There you are. Okay. The time is now 8:11 PM. We are out of executive session. Is there a motion to adjourn the meeting?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?